And new tonight, giving law enforcement officers in Leon County more control over whether or not to arrest someone in possession of small amounts of marijuana. Right now, under Florida state law, a person can spend up to a year in jail for having 20 grams or less. That's the weight of about 8 pennies. Leon County commissioners will create a resolution to allow officers to decide how they respond to simple possession cases.
That is instead of a proposal that would have kept people in possession of small amounts of marijuana from being arrested. ABC 27's Jada Williams joins us now from the Leon County Courthouse.
And Jada, why did commissioners decide against dropping those arrests?
Channing, Ava, in the last 3 years, Leon County has not arrested a single person for having 20 grams of less of marijuana, and that being their only offense. That's one of the reasons that county commissioners said the ordinance wasn't necessary, so they decided to go with a resolution instead.
We are at a point where we want to be as far as not criminalizing those individuals.
Instead of passing an ordinance that would require law enforcement to only issue a civil citation to people caught with 20 grams of marijuana or less, Leon County Commissioner Carolyn Cumming and every other commissioner voted to instead pass a resolution. That means what happens falls into the hands of the officer. Commissioner Nick Maddox says right now law enforcement and the state attorney's office are already doing just that.
I'm convinced that the system's not broken.
Law enforcement and attorneys say regardless of legislation the county passes, there's still stronger legislation they have to enforce. Any possession of any amount of non-medicinal marijuana is illegal under federal and state law.
I'm using prosecutorial discretion to follow the law and be as lenient as I can. But as far as me saying, okay, I'm going to follow Leon County Ordinance ABC and ignore you, Florida legislature, that's not an option for me.
However, there are still 15 counties in Florida with ordinances prohibiting arrest for 20 grams or less. Counties like Pinellas have diversion programs instead. Their sheriff says in 2020, 60 people completed pre-arrest diversion. Pinellas' program cost about $1,000. In Leon County, only $100.
This board and the city commission have both granted money so that if they can't afford the $100, you all will pay it.
Leon County created its first diversion program in 1995. There are pre-arrest and post-arrest diversion programs in Leon for people caught with 20 grams or less. Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil says since 2019, no one in Leon County has gone to jail for having less than 20 grams. He says that does not mean that marijuana in the county is not something that's a problem.
But when you start looking at the behaviors in our community, it's significant to know that most of our shootings have a connection back to marijuana.
With State Attorney Jack Campbell bringing up one of the most recent murders connected to the sale of marijuana.
We had a beautiful FAMU cheerleader whose total death sentence was because she and her girlfriend decided to buy marijuana, and she is dead, and I will prosecute that as a murder.
It's one of the reasons Campbell and McNeil believe having the option of arrest is one tool in preventing other violent crimes. State Attorney Jack Campbell as well as Sheriff Walt McNeil say that they will scale back on how they handle the marijuana arrest if they so happen to change it in the federal and state law, but as of right now, it's still discretionary. That resolution is in effect as we speak. Reporting live from outside of the courthouse, Jada Williams, ABC 27.